Inter fans from all over the world, welcome to the Interglobe. Welcome to a sad day. Yes, because we are in front and we are cheering for a club which is bipolar. Let me read you the definition of a bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder, previously known as manic depression, is a mental disorder characterized by periods of depression and periods of abnormally elevated mood that last from days to weeks each. That's the definition of Inter, is not the definition of this disease. I think Wikipedia got it wrong. Too many ups and downs, too many showcases of personality, and too many manifestation of absence of personality. In the club, I'm talking about the club, the players, of course, and that's evident, but also the coach Inzaghi with his strategies and his choices in the substitutions moment, and also the management with the disaster that happened with Skriniar. Okay, some good news like Aslani, but the disaster that happened with Skriniar during the summer up until now that costs us 50 million euros, it's unforgivable and it's such a down. And also the property, because the owner, because Zhang as well, this summer should have been more clever in approving the selling of Skriniar and the buying of Bremer with better timing. So we have a bipolar club. I'm not so much disappointed from yesterday's loss because I said basically after a game with Juventus on the 6th of November that Serie A was gone, which is a disgrace. So, I'm not more disappointed than I used to be. But the reality is that we finished the first half of the Serie A with 37 points. And last year, in the second part of Serie A, playing as bad as we played and giving the Scudetto to Milan, handing the Scudetto to Milan with 7 points in 7 games, with that loss in the derby that we have to thank De Vrij for, with that kind of second half of Serie A last year, we had 38 points and we made 37 this year. So it's just not possible to forgive a team that loses 6 times already. And this is why now we have to win Coppa Italia no matter what, and we have to pass the round of 16 and get to the quarterfinal of the Champions League no matter what, in order to save the season. Otherwise, unfortunately, there's going to be a big amount of rumors around Inzaghi this summer. Anyway, let's come to the game. First half, approach completely wrong. We didn't learn from Naples. Napoli didn't dodge it because we basically committed the same mistake that we committed in Monza. Even worse, because we came on the pitch, we didn't score immediately like we did over there. And we played without grit. Not bad, because we could even have scored with Di Marco's left foot, with Di Marco volley, then with Lautaro in the very close to the box, and like 3 meters from the goal, I reckon. And so we could even have scored, but then there was this double yellow card for Skriniar. I mean, whose fault is it? Again, the whole club, because this man was sold during the summer, then taken away from this possibility when PSG didn't pay enough money. He was put on sale even if he didn't want to leave Inter. Now we're in a terrible situation in which we're going to lose him at 0, and psychologically you can only imagine how he's feeling. But to be honest, the second foul, the first was really stupid. The first yellow card he got was really stupid, and he should have avoided it, especially because it was in the very early stages of the game. But the second one, he touches the ball first. I watched it 50 times in slow motion. He touches the ball first. So maybe it's dangerous the way he approaches the ball, but he's not doing any violent foul, because that's not what happened. And honestly, for me, it's a foul, but not a yellow card in this case. considering that he got the ball first. Anyway, after that, we basically collapsed because we came back from the locker room without any ideas. Then Inzaghi made the wrong substitutions, creating a lot of confusion on the pitch, because at one point we basically had only 2 people in midfield, and we had Lukaku, we had Dzeko, we had Lautaro up front, and we were continuing to have these long shots from Onana, which is something you can adopt maybe in the extra time, but not starting 15 minutes from the end of the game. And so that was really unfortunate, and we deserved to lose, because Empoli before scoring already went close to scoring, and so that's that. I never really got the impression that we could recuperate this game, honestly, only with a shot from Dzeko when it was 15 minutes to the end, but it was like an isolated episode. Anyway, let's judge the players. I wanted also to say that we are the team that scored the most goals in the first half, yet yesterday we really didn't go on the pitch with the consistent approach that we had previously, and it's such a pity. Tiramolla Onana, no. 5.5. 5.5 because he played very well up until the goal. Then honestly on the goal he could have done better, because it wasn't easy, but I think he could have done better. I liked the plays he made with his feet, and in general the way he played. So 5.5 for Tiramolla Onana, because all in all I think it was a good performance. There is this stain of the goal, but it was a strong shot, and it was almost on the penalty kick spot, so not easy to save. Then we have Skriniar, 4, because he started well, but then for one reason or another he ended up being sent off, and this is not acceptable from a player of his stature at this moment of the season. You know, it's unforgivable. It's almost comparable to when Sanchez got sent off in Liverpool when we were winning 1-0 after like 3 minutes and basically ended the game. So Skriniar is a 4. De Vrij, it's 5.5 because he got a bar with a header in the second half, and he did a couple of nice interventions and plays defensively, but he also did a couple of stupid plays in which he went to mark the wrong man, in which you could see that he was not confident enough in himself. Wrong positioning and wrong choices. So I want to give him 5.5, although that's not the type of performance we need from our central defender. I mean, we need somebody who is a wall, not somebody who, again, is bipolar and goes up and down in the way he plays. Then we have Bastoni, 6-, not well with the header. He had a good chance in the beginning of the game, but then he was defensively effective, which is also some news in his case, because recently he always was marking from afar and not being angry enough to regain the ball from the opponents. And so he went better this time, and he also proposed himself when it came to go forward and to recuperate. So again, nothing special, but it's a 6-. Darmian, 7. I really appreciate this player, and he's playing better and better. He had an amazing save in the first half that really saved us, right on the penalty kick spot, and together with De Vrij, and then he also made a couple of precious crosses, which unfortunately didn't see a good shot from our players. One of them was the one in which Di Marco tried from the left side. And I also loved a couple of plays in the portion of the game in which he played defensively as one of the 3 on the right, which again shows how much this player is versatile, and you can't but appreciate this. So it's despite the way the game went, for Darmian it's a 7. Barella, 5. Wrong choices, nervous, It's just unacceptable, because these episodes of nervous behaviors are really recurrent, and you just can't forgive this. Once because I hope that Inzaghi tells him that he can't have these sort of behaviors, and once you tell him this, if he displays them again, well, I'm sorry, but you have to fine him. You have to find ways to make him understand that this is not possible, to tame him. So it's a 5 for Barella, even because he protested when he got substituted. The Sultan of Swing, Çalhanoğlu, 5.5. In general, well, but on the goal, it's his responsibility, because he went toward De Vrij to double the player that had the ball, and he left his player alone, or he was marking him from too far, and that's how he got the space to shoot. So it's a big mistake, despite the way he played, which I appreciated as usual during the game. Because of this episode, he gets a 5.5. Mkhitaryan, 6-. I want to also reward him with a grade that's not so bad, because he plays always recently, and he's not young, and he also would need some time to recuperate, and despite this tiredness, he is good defensively. He closes a lot of plays from the opponents, and he also tries to do his best forward, although not always, unfortunately, he is precise as he should be. He made a couple of bad mistakes in terms of tactical choices. I remember one in particular in which we were going towards the goal, and there was Di Marco alone on the left. Instead, he came towards the center, so he obviously made the wrong choice there. So all in all, it's a 6- for Mkhitaryan. Drone delivery Di Marco, 6.5. A couple of good shots. One in particular could have gone in with a little luck. And he also made a great assist for Lauti in the first half. The assist that Lauti threw out from a good position. And so all in all, for me, Di Marco is a 6.5. Lauti is a 5. That shot that he missed on Di Marco's assist was not a shot to be missed by a player of his caliber, and in general during the game he did too little to be noticed, and too little for what his potential is. So 5. Correa, let's not lose time, it's a 2. Bellanova, 4. Bellanova is a 4, and it's I regret to give Bellanova this grade, because I was hoping that he could perform better. Instead, he comes in, he gives the ball to the opponents inside the penalty box right away, and of course, after such a terrible mistake, the fans started also booing him a bit. Every time he got the ball on the right, there was this gigantic boo in the stadium, and a roar. It was a roar. You could see that they were pushing him to go, but it was not always easy to just go alone on the wing, knowing that having in front of you a defender that knows that you're going to do that, because that's what Bellanova does. So it wasn't really easy. It was too predictable, and it was a pity that fans booed. But honestly, he played very badly yesterday. All the choices were wrong. He has technical problems. You can see that he's not confident in handling the ball in his feet. The ball is too far from his feet when he's running, and I'm not sure that this can be refined. I think so, because he's young. Come on, he's only 20 years old, or 21 or 22 years old. Anyway, he has time to get better, but he was pretty ridiculous yesterday. So it's a 4. Dzeko, 5.5. The only sparkles you could see yesterday were the ones that were ignited by Dzeko, but after the first 10 minutes, the last 5 were kind of anonymous, because he's just too tired to play all the time. Dzeko, 5.5. Gosens, 6. The way he was warming up was like a 7. You could see him like a machine, so determined. Then he played fairly well, I would say. It's a 6 because he had a couple of shots on goal. One was terrible, but one with almost bicycle kick was something to appreciate, I think. And he tried to recuperate balls, to get them back. And he succeeded once or twice. So all in all, I give him a 6. Asllani 6. You could see that he was turned on. He was plugged in. You know, he was ready and willing to make things happen. He had a good influence on the team when he came on the pitch. He had a nice defensive header that gave the ball to Onana. He gained also a good, from a good position, a fall for Inter just outside of the penalty box, and so it's a 6 for him. Lukaku 5. He's the shadow of the player he used to be, of the player we know. I hope it's only physical and not psychological as well, but let's give him more time. But yesterday he was a 5. Inzaghi 4. The approach was appalling. Having Correa in the starting lineup is a mistake that cannot be forgiven. If you tell me, listen, I couldn't put Dzeko in the starting lineup because he's too tired, okay, get somebody from the youth team. I don't care. At this point you have to understand, even if you love him, that this player is not a player that can perform in Inter, at least until the end of the season. Then I don't know, send him to a summer camp somewhere where they explain to him what grit means and what passion for the colors that you're defending means, these sort of values. But you can't put him on the pitch choosing him, you know, you can't choose him. Also, the substitutions were weird, to say the least. Too early, we ended up having these long shots from Onana to Lukaku, Lautaro and Dzeko. We had no midfield. I think it would have been wiser to try to elaborate our plays a bit more rather than just doing these Holy Mary shots forward. So Inzaghi is a 4. Now let's concentrate on keeping the 4th place, at least in Serie A, on passing with Porto and on winning Coppa Italia. I mean, these are unfortunately what our goals have transformed into today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please punch the like button, subscribe and leave a comment. I'd love to learn how to make these videos better, and I'm sure there's a way. Pretty sure there's a way. Thanks again, and as always, Forza Magica Inter. Ciao!